It's the world champion versus world number one. And this, dear friends, is the Duolingo recap of the day. Duolingo is an app where you can learn many languages, but now it also has chess. So download the app and begin your chess journey to get better. The game started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight to f3, d5. The queen's gambit declined, and we now join the game to see how it pans out. Magnus goes for the move g3, the Catalan. Bishop comes out to b4 with a check, and knight to d2. He blocks with the knight. Now, generally, you block with the bishop, but here Gukesh goes a5. This is a move that he played very recently at the European Club Cup as well, and then pushed his pawn to a4. Yes, he's pushed it here as well. Pawn to a4. And Gukesh, I'm pretty sure, is well prepared here. Has Magnus prepared against this? One of the things that happens when you have more responsibilities in life, like Magnus here has become a father and so on, is that you're not able to keep up with the flow of information that chess has. And so you're not able to prepare very specifically against a specific opening and so on. So here I'm pretty sure Magnus is now banking on his great understanding of chess. He goes queen to c2 and Gukesh quickly castles. Meanwhile, Gukesh seems to be in his preparation. One thing to notice here is that the b3 square is a bit weakened, and Gukesh is trying to latch onto it with knight a5, perhaps with the bishop protecting the a4 pawn. Pawn to e4 played by Magnus, and you can see Gukesh very quickly blitzing out his moves. Knight takes, queen takes. Black's position does look a bit passive at this point. White has a lot more space. Knight to a5 played here. He's looking at the b3 square, and now he goes queen e2 and bishop comes to c6. Bishop to f4 played, trying to put pressure here. Also d5 is in the air somewhere. Gukesh goes bishop f6. Already his position looks quite nice and interesting. I think with knight b3 coming up and pressure here and on d4 and bishop f3 in the air, Magnus finds it the right moment to take some drastic measures. Pawn takes on d5, pawn takes on d5, attacking the bishop. Now, I think taking the pawn is the right and the best thing to do, because even though there is a pin here, you can always protect the bishop with the move c6. So he goes knight to e5, unleashing the attack on the bishop. I believe c6 is important. He plays it. Bishop takes d5, pawn takes on d5, and queen comes into b5. Putting pressure here and also on the a4 pawn. And Gukesh jumps in with his knight to b3, attacking the rook on a1. But Magnus chops off the pawn on d5. He's attacking the queen. If the queen moves away, you can see white pieces much better placed. The rook can come to the center, but what a move by Gukesh. He goes rook a5, and Magnus now takes on d8. Rook takes b5. He takes on f8 as well. King takes f8, and rook e1 threatening knight d7 check and a mate on e8. Maybe the best idea is to chop this off perhaps, but Gukesh goes rook to d5, defending the d7 square. Knight comes to c4. Now Magnus is an amazing grinder. He's threatening a check here. g5 by Gukesh. Powerful play. And the bishop has to move away. But where exactly? Goes knight to b6. Wow. He attacks the rook here. And Gukesh goes rook to d3. Time wise, Gukesh has 1 minute 55 seconds. Magnus has 4 minutes 8 seconds. Bishop to e5 played. And now knight to d2. Another excellent move played here by Gukesh. He's threatening knight f3 check. So king g2. Now notice, if you would have taken here check, take on e1, and that would have been fatal. So Instead, he goes king g2, knight f3, again attacking the rook here. Knight d7 takes here, king takes f3. Magnus is simplifying this, but is he going to be better in the rook endgame? That's because here you can see the white king is more active and the black pawns look a bit weak. He goes rook e3, and I believe trading here would be bad news. It's still a draw, but it looks like white king is more active. So Gukesh keeps the rooks on the board. Rook d2, pawn to b3 played. And now a takes b3, rook takes on b3. The b7 pawn is under pressure. But Gukesh goes rook a2, and notice how he keeps his rook active. So that if you take on b7, he takes on a3. King comes to g4. Attacking the pawn on g5. You have rook a2. He takes the pawn. Takes here. h4 played. King comes up to g7. And now rook to b6. Gukesh goes to a2. And I believe they will repeat now. King h3. And there you have the repetition coming in. Both of them looking for the arbiter, and a handshake, a draw here, a very interesting game. As soon as the game ends, Gukesh talks about queen f1 instead of rook a6, and this is from their first game, not this one. He's talking about the previous game, and Magnus is trying to recollect here because Gukesh took on a6 in this position, and then Magnus managed to get his queen into the game. So Gukesh is more like queen f1 would have been better here, but Magnus is like, I think after this very amazing move bishop c5, he didn't see any defense for Gukesh, but I think Gukesh played well, and they haven't yet checked the engine, so maybe both are thinking that this is winning position for Magnus when actually it's a draw. But Gukesh, of course, talking about queen f1 in this position, which he thought was a better move than rook takes a6, and Magnus agrees on it. Always nice to see two top players of the world discussing things with each other, especially Gukesh and Magnus, who maybe do not agree on many things off the board, but over the board they are always interested to know each other's thoughts. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the game. I want to tell you about Duolingo. This app, I used it extensively to learn languages when I was young. But I'm so thrilled that it now has chess on it. If you are a beginner, there are beginners courses here. If you are an advanced player, you also have different kinds of checkmates, different types of tactics, opening ideas. So you can make use of all of this. And what is very exciting is the way in which it is being taught. Oscar teaches you, who is a fun-loving character and a tutor, and it will give you some hints. There are streaks which are created. There are daily tasks that you can achieve. There are rewards. You can play against Oscar, and there's also a leaderboard. By the way, I'm leading on the leaderboard. My ID is Sagar Chess1. Let's see if you can challenge me and get ahead of me. Download the app Duolingo and start your chess journey, no matter what your level is, and let's get better at chess.